welcome back to Feisty Ferret Business. My name is Alexandra Kilov and this is Pierre. Balthazar is eating because of course he is. Today's video is going to be about what to do when you have to leave your ferrets for a bit. So this is in the context of, let's say you're going away overnight, going away for a weekend or a week, on holiday. You're going away, and if you are usually the person that takes care of your ferrets, you need a backup plan or something else, or someone else to look after your ferrets. So, obviously every one of these circumstances will be different depending on who you are, but this is just as a reference point. I went away for a weekend with my fiance recently. We went to a convention for anime and gaming. And then I was leaving my boys alone for 2 nights. Now obviously, not ideal. Don't leave your ferrets alone for that long. What are you doing? You should not leave your ferrets alone for that long. So, what did I do? I had to ask my mother to come around and feed them and make sure they got their food and water filled and let them run around for a little bit. Because ferrets are very easily susceptible to essentially starving and dehydration because they are small and they are very complicated gastrointestinal issues. So yeah, that's what I had to do. Obviously I left. She's looked after them before, so she knows roughly what to do. I just asked her, this is the food, this is the water, just refill it, and make sure we have some playtime. That's pretty much it. Luckily, ferrets are fairly simple to look after, so it's more just making sure that the person that you ask has the correct directions, which leads me on to this whole video. So obviously not everyone has someone just there available. Maybe you live with your partner and you're going away with your partner, so you can't actually ask them to do it. But okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. General gist is that if you are not available, you need to have someone else who is. This might be someone else that lives with you, like a roommate, a sibling, family member, partner, that is available and, knows your ferrets. Obviously, preferably it would be somewhat a person that your ferrets know, because some ferrets do react a bit differently to people that they don't know. Not all ferrets. I mean, my boys are harmless. They wouldn't they wouldn't really react if someone different came to see them. They just get moody really at me. But so you should, the first point of call would be to ask someone who knows you and your ferrets to check in on them. This does not mean living with them, staying in your room with them, making sure that they are okay 24/7. It just means popping in a couple of times or at least once to feed them, top up their food, their water, and make sure that they get some time outside the cage if they are caged. Yes, and even no matter how well you know this person, always leave directions. Whether it's, if you have multiple animals, it could be, this one eats this food, this will be labelled. Essentially you want to really oversimplify things, because even someone who knows what they're doing might slip up, and you don't want someone feeding wrong animals the wrong food, or, just, you don't want anyone making mistakes. So mistakes happen, but with animals you'd rather not. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Or it might be like telling someone where you keep the food. If you feed your ferrets raw, they might be like, oh well, their food is in the fridge or freezer. You might need to let it defrost, etc. If you don't have anyone like that that lives with you, if you don't have any family, partners, or roommates, etc., that are there to help, next point of call probably to, depending on where you live, look for possibly animal boarding. Again, this also depends on how long you're going away for. If you're going away for more than like a long weekend, like a week or 2, it would be more beneficial for the ferrets to have more regular time out of their cage rather than just like an hour or 2 while you're away for a weekend. So in the UK there's a few animal boarding places. Not many will take ferrets because of, I don't know, the nature of them being destructive little assholes. I don't know. But I know in the US there are more places that will take ferrets for animal boarding, or you can find a local animal sitter. These are usually available, you can usually find these people on Facebook groups, local community groups on the internet. It just completely depends on where you are, but it's worth checking anyway, especially if you're going away for a longer period of time. because you want to make sure that your ferrets have the best quality of life while you're away. You don't want them under eating or becoming stressed out. You want life to remain as normal as possible for them, essentially. If you cannot find an animal sitter, there are also just groups on Facebook. I'm using Facebook as my main example for like ferret groups. I'm in multiple ferret groups in the UK and worldwide. It might be worth asking on there if there's anyone local to your area that might be available. This is a long shot, so again, this will probably be one of my last ditch attempts. But yeah, definitely worth a shot. At least you never know, there might be someone in your area who is free to come check on them for a day. But of course, always be incredibly cautious when arranging to give someone details like your address and how to get into your house, because you'd have to give them keys or something. It's just a very bad, I will admit, it's a very dangerous or risky move to invite a stranger to your house and to stay with your animals. So if you are planning on using this method, please be very careful, be very cautious, and do your vetting. And if you have any bad feelings, do not go ahead with it, trust your gut. Some animal sanctuaries and rescues may offer animal boarding, but again, this is very much on an individual basis, so contact your local one to see if they do this. Ultimately, if you cannot find anyone, hopefully you will find someone. Hopefully you'll be a friend or family member, but my ultimate goal essentially, I would personally never arrange a holiday or any time away without having a plan for my animals. So I'm lucky enough to have family and friends that live close by and are readily available to come and look after my ferrets while I'm gone. But if I'm going away for a week or two, I wouldn't secure that plan until I have a definite plan for the ferrets in place, because the animals come first. Stop. The animals come first, ultimately. So, for future advice, just please make sure you have something planned for your animals before you. It sounds bad, but you want to make sure that they will be safe while you're gone. But some general tips on preparing when your ferret is going to be alone. So when I left for my weekend, I made sure to spend a good chunk of time before I left, literally just before I left with them, to make sure they got as much quality time with me as possible. Isn't that right, Balfi? I gave their cage and room a big deep clean, because obviously they smell, and although I can handle your smell perfectly fine, sometimes my mother not so much, but that's okay. So I just gave their room and cage a big deep clean, and maybe put a bit too much food in their bowl, just so that if my mum's a bit later than to come to see them over than usual time, it's not a big deal. But I just gave them a bit more food. I gave them some treats to calm them down a little bit. So definitely give them a big deep clean and give some quality time with them before you go. Again, leave directions, notes, whatever you need for whoever is coming to look after them. This includes any medication. If your ferret's on medication for whatever reason, make sure you have those directions very clearly labelled, with dosage, timing, etc. Obviously also have what if scenarios, what if the ferret starts choking on, if something goes wrong, who should they call? Is it you? Is it a vet? You want to know for sure. So yeah, it's a lot of just basic preparation, but yeah, that is this video. So I know this was a bit unhinged. I'm very tired and very stressed from life, but this is what keeps me going a little bit. And my boys, who are being silly. But yeah, that's all for today. Just a reminder, the early bird Christmas sale is still going on, including the description, and the advent calendars are selling so well. I'm so grateful for you guys ordering them. They are so fun to make. Yeah, they are so fun to make, and I love putting them together, and I can't wait for you guys to open them when you get them. And on that is also the Christmas box, which again, I love putting together, and I can't wait to see your guys' reactions to them. but check it out below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!